Shut up and sit down.
Cyclist Tyler Hamilton had to explain why somebody else's blood was in his veins. He claimed a vanished twin absorbed by his body in the womb. The court didn't buy it.
A Russian lab used a secret hole in the wall in an attempt to win Olympic medals, making this the first known example of a literal glory hole.
Chenkhov's cocktails of 3 different performance-enhancing drugs were, on his instructions, washed down by athletes with alcohol to shorten the detection period. Chivas for male athletes, vermouth for the ladies.
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Legrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von Turing. I'm looking into blood doping. I think it will allow me to write jokes with greater intensity and for a longer period of time. Enjoy the podcast.
People are smart. Do they say, has Lance Armstrong ever tested positive? No. Has Lance Armstrong been tested? A lot.
Wow, that is some confident lying. Remember, this is the man who looked America dead in the eyes and said, bicycling is a very cool sport, and we f***ing believed him. For as long as there's been science, people have used it to juice the human body. In the 1920s, a Russian-born French surgeon grafted thin slices of chimp testicles into people's scrotums, which was obviously ridiculous. These days we know you need a thick slice of chimp testicles. That's when it starts to work.
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I'm Jake Von Turing, and I'm here with Lance freaking Hepler.
Lance Romance right here in studio.
I was thinking about that on the drive over. I was like, meh, Lance isn't even going to be there. He's probably in the middle of a river somewhere calling in.
And not only is Lance here, he brought rocks.
Rocks.
I got a pile of rocks in front of me.
Pile of rocks.
So Lance is left. Evan Price.
Well, are we not drinking anything? Oh, okay. So
I'll remedy that.
This is an empty Red Bull.
I know. I drank this really quick. I'm still I'm all over trying different energy drinks so I can grab a sponsorship here soon.
Yep,
but
this
is the Red Bull Summer Edition.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Now, can we take a guess? What flavors do you think they went with for their Summer Edition?
Orange.
Tangerine.
Tangerine. Something orange.
You already saw it. That's cheating. Legit, go.
Tangerine.
Orange.
Lance was 100%
Strawberry
right.
apricot.
Yes.
What is it?
Strawberry apricot. I'm not sure why apricot would be a summer flavor, but it does taste like summer.
Ooh, okay.
Hey, Lance, if you want to go get us some beverages out of the
I'd be
beverage
happy to.
holder.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, man.
Devin's left, Matt Legrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys are looking like you're here today. You're looking
We are
like
here.
you are here.
Me and Matt are both wearing shirts that he designed because you designed that shirt,
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Matt also designed the shirt that I'm wearing right now.
Yep. And Lance, I designed Lance's shirt.
Yes, Matt.
Go
Washington State
Cougs.
I'm wearing Washington State.
No, I did not
Cougars
design that,
t-shirt.
but you guys don't know
done
that.
with
They're
that.
just listening. They don't know.
No, they don't.
All right, Liquor's in the house.
Luckily that I'm wearing clothes, actually.
I know we are very lucky.
Or not lucky.
One or the other. Not sure which.
How about a quick back pedal? How's that sound? Sound like
Yes.
fun? Matt, you want to go first?
I think I biked with you.
You did. Well,
Was that this week? I don't know. Well, it depends on when we're counting our week.
I've lost track.
It was like
I don't know.
Wednesday lunch ride.
At some point in time in the past couple of weeks, Matt and I rode together.
Zone 2 lunch ride. I was going all out. I was going all out. I was like,
Well, I don't
Are
know
we
how,
racing?
I don't know how
Same
you
yesterday.
designed your zone 2, but that's
Zone
usually
2.
how most people would
I
do
got,
zone 2.
I got
is
zone 1.
threshold.
I got zone 1, which is sit on the couch and watch the tour.
Yeah.
I got zone 2, which is
Just
go
moving.
all out. Go all out on the lunch
That's
ride.
what your 2 zones
Those are my
are.
2 zones.
That's it.
There's way too many zones. We need to narrow down the zones.
Some people have 7 zones. Isn't that ridiculous?
Why do you need that many zones?
I've been swimming a good bit, but mostly in the pool this week. I have not swam in the lake, and I really need to because I need to test a whole bunch of
Fall
watches.
leave.
So
yeah,
I was going to actually text
we're racing
you.
this weekend, and then next week, let's come up with a day and do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are the things. And cross country, Camus cross country is in full swing. That's where I was. That's why
is
I'm
that
late to the
Oh,
podcast.
really?
I saw that you were down on the
We
trail.
did. We were tracking
Yep.
you.
We were wondering
Yeah.
what you were doing
Yep.
down there.
I thought I
was-
saw some Camus kids running around, actually.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, was it? No. It would have been.
Some of them are training.
Others are hanging out.
We saw this girl. I saw this girl down there from Bowerman Track Club. And
Really?
I can't remember what her name is, but guess what her 5K time is?
14 and change.
14:40.
Is it Cranny? Elise Cranny, maybe?
I have to look and see.
Is that zone 2?
That's
Schweitzer.
When she runs 1440, that might be zone 2.5.
Cassie loves the Bowerman chicks. They are
right?
They are so fast.
Some of them are super cool.
When we got to go to the Portland Track Fest and watch.
And I do want to hear about the rocks.
They're posting all over their social medias from what I heard. They're like, did you hear what rock Lance got recently? I can't wait for next week.
You know what's funny?
Hope it's on next week's podcast.
There's been about a dozen people who have reached out to me personally saying, you got to check this out. Or, hey, I heard about, from listening to the podcast.
You do know if you wanted a personal YouTube channel of yours to blow up, I bet if you made a niche of mountain biking and rock hounding, you could somehow find a niche audience there. I'm sure you would.
I'm telling you, YouTube is weird like that.
Social media is a strange beast. I don't search anything about rocks, but it's been coming up in feeds of different things that I look at. And is this just like guilty by association with Lance?
Probably.
Some dude's like washing rocks on some. I'm like, where did you come? I mean, it's cool, but freaking Facebook
It's
listening.
my fault. It's Facebook listening.
And then YouTube's even scarier because you'll like randomly get on YouTube. You're like, how is that connected to whatever conversation we just had? Like, why is this popping up right now?
Crazy. Evan Price, backpedal.
How's training going?
Wait,
it's going well.
At the end of the podcast last week, we were bad-mouthing Ironman because you would not getting into Salem.
Let me not recant those statements and explain how ridiculous this awful company still is. I will still, not that anybody from Ironman's ever listening to me talk about this, and not that they would care, but so after the 4th email to them, basically just asking for a reply at this point of like, hey, am I in or not at this point? And I found out the backstory on this. They have a couple other pros that were way more important than I am.
But they were also hassling them.
Who were making a little bit bigger like social media stink about it and basically saying like, Ironman, you did not tell us that there was now the reinstatement of a firm date on this. You say that, the 2020 rule doesn't apply anymore. We never got that email saying that. So after they had enough people, I think, annoy them, probably the lady was like, I don't want my inbox filled with this anymore. Sure, you guys can jump on.
So within an hour of us recording,
literally
Evan was in the race.
But how I'm going to tell this story.
Evan Price, racing, Salem, 70.3, 2022.
Breaking news, triathlon.com.
It's going to be a good race for you, actually.
I'm so pumped for it. It does crack me up. So when I'm 80 and I tell this story, it's going to be that we were yelling about it on the podcast, and then Ironman called and apologized to me. Is what I'm going to tell. Yeah, that's how the story's going to go.
Power of the podcast.
Our reach is far.
So anyway, I have made it onto the Salem start list. So now this last week had to really shift gears and be like, crap, I got to get ready for a race now. So I got back into I figured since I had the wedding week and a honeymoon week of lower training, I was like, I'm just going to flog myself for a week, get back into shape, and go into this week feeling good because I do super short tapers anyway. Feeling great. We did the Salem bike course and run course. Me and Josh went down last Thursday, and feeling really, really good. The swim at Salem is going to be a downstream swim. So anybody tracking and looks at my time is like, wow, Evan's swimming really fast now. I'm not.
No. You got to tell them. It's upstream. And,
it's a fair distance lake swim.
It's going to be snowing that day.
In all seriousness, does that play to your advantage at all? I mean, I know the fast guys are going to go fast, but you're going to probably be able to...
The gap is going to shrink a lot.
Well, think about this. There's just less percentage of time.
Exactly.
Yes.
But also, it's the way a current works is you can be swimming really hard into a current or with a current. It almost doesn't matter. We have Andy Potts in this race. Andy Potts is one of the best swimmers who's ever been in the sport. He will most likely only have like a 2 to 3 minute gap on like the main pack if he can even make 3 minutes.
Maybe less than that.
It might be less. Which, if I was a swimmer, I'd be so mad at this race. Like, this is ridiculous. It'd be the equivalent of like a downhill tailwind bike for me. I'd be like, why would I even show up? This is dumb. So, this is going to be a bike run race.
This bodes in your favor. I mean,
Absolutely.
you're going to potentially have a pretty good placing.
Or he'll probably win it.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, let's just call it
breaking news.
Evan Price slated to win Salem 70.3 2022.
If he doesn't win it,
my post-race interview would make like news because I'd be so shocked and just like I'd make NBC where they're like, professional athlete was not sure if he had actually won or not because this is not supposed to happen. So I'd be like, did everybody else die? Was there like?
Great.
But we will be basically turning this into a bike run race. It's going to be interesting. The run course is very fast. My only thing is, bike runners like me are going to be tempted to go way too hard on this bike. So I am definitely playing to numbers and playing safe.
You gonna use a power meter on your bike?
I'm really close to considering using the power meter just because I want to stay.
You know a guy that could just swap it out for you, put power meter pedals.
Oh no, I got the speed place. I'm good.
I know, but you could have one on each bike.
I could.
That'd be crazy, wouldn't it?
Bike. Actually, I should. I know that guy. I should talk to him here.
Talk to him.
But yeah, that's basically it. Oh, we got you'll find somebody, Matt. We got Ari Klaus staying with us. So we have YouTube
YouTuber.
royalty.
He's interesting. He
a triathlete YouTuber.
He is a post-collegiate runner, ran for UVA.
Yeah.
And he's a professional triathlete now, and he's pretty good. He's actually really good.
Of all the
courses,
of all the courses that favor this kid, I do have an outside pick. If Ari is near the front
it's
group,
a good course for him too.
He could, I won't say win, he could podium this race.
That'd be
nice.
That'd be big
if he's near the front. The bike's going to be.
Who's the odds-on favorite besides Evan Price?
Tim O'Donnell is probably the favorite to win. Even coming back from his issues and all, I would still put my money on Tim O'Donnell.
That's a good guess.
Yeah.
All right.
I just won't bet against Tim O'Donnell. He's very fast. So.
Yeah. Cool. But having no swim there also doesn't help him. He's a good swimmer.
Him and Andy Potts, that's a shame. Yeah. But I mean, they're both still great bike runners. So
yeah, this should be exciting.
It's gonna be very
and
exciting.
It's not this weekend, but it's the following weekend.
No, this weekend. So this Sunday coming up.
Sunday,
couple days.
Yeah. We are recording this on Thursday morning. I'm guessing we're going to try to get it out today.
It will be out today.
It will be out today.
There you go.
So,
reason being, we wanted to soak up as much Tour de France so we can talk about it live, as opposed to being a 3-day delay.
Because on Monday we would have missed some of the really good stages that are fun to talk about today. Yeah. So
I'm going to be down there for kids swim meet.
In Salem?
In Salem.
That's funny.
It's we could come have dinner with you guys on Saturday. The problem is Sunday morning I'll be at a swim meet. I can't watch the race, but I could come have dinner with you guys. Sam and I could come have dinner with you guys. That'd be fun.
Is it Sam or is Ethan there too with you guys?
Just Sam. Just me and Sam. We're actually in Albany, which is like maybe 20 minutes south of Salem or something like that. Anyway,
kind of middle of nowhere, but
I'll send you a message.
Nice.
Cool. Is that it?
Yes.
Sweet. Lance Hepler.
I decided to come home from Idaho.
Super excited that you're home. I really wasn't. I didn't know where you were.
You were in a beautiful spot in Idaho too.
Yeah,
you really were.
We really were there for the 4th of July. My daughters came up with their significant others, so we spent the 4th of July in Sun Valley, Idaho, which was fantastic.
It's one of your favorite spots on the planet.
It is. It's just
kayaking.
Summer's there. Yeah, we kayaked almost every day. I rode my mountain bike or my gravel bike or my road bike a little bit every day. Finally, near the end there, I started to turn the corner and feel better because COVID really kicked my ass. Yeah. It really kicked my ass. I was down for like
probably
3
did some
weeks.
Damage to your lungs.
Yeah,
COVID is a jerk.
Yeah, so I didn't respond very well to that. But I ended up, I came home, and after spending 3 weeks at 7,000 feet elevation, oh my gosh, I felt good on the bike.
Did you bike yesterday?
I did the
Sun
lab
Valley
lunch
is
ride.
7,000 feet elevation?
The valley floor is 6,000 feet, like 58.
Oh my God, I did not know that. Wow.
So you rode the lunch ride.
I did the lunch ride.
AKA Zone 2.
And did you win the lunch ride, though?
I won everything.
You won the lunch ride. Nice. Okay, good.
When it's a Zone 2 ride,
Zone 2 boys.
Trying,
Zone 2
that's
boys.
my jam. So I had a good time. Yes, I brought some rock things.
I brought some rocks, guys.
Rock talk.
Who wants to see cool rocks?
Can you just tell us what they are?
Oh, I got a really good idea for like audio. Whenever he does rock talk, we should play like some 80s, like a riff real quick.
Yeah.
Like, rock talk.
Maybe just like a guitar solo.
Yeah, just like
This is a piece of lava from the Craters of the Moon National Monument area, not in the park because that's illegal to take rocks. But it was from.
Lance is
going
to get federally charged from his rock talk.
That's
on
actually
here.
that's a moon rocks from the moon.
That is.
This is a thunder egg with crystals in the middle that we found. It's what they're called. They're called thunder eggs.
Lightning came down and split that rock.
Split this, and there's
the
crystals
thunder
in the middle.
itself is what made the crystals.
This was a little
science.
This was a
I
little
believe you
ball.
told that last part.
This was a little round ball, and I cracked it in half and found the crystals inside.
Okay,
Kind of
That's pretty cool. How did you crack that? Actually, serious question.
With a hammer.
Really?
Yeah.
And it could split that clean?
Yeah. Wow. I'm very skilled.
Skilled rock hounder. Okay.
All of your dental training has come to this.
I'm a
It's all
trained
worth it.
professional. That's what people used to ask me. I'd explain what I was doing, dentally, like I'm going to do this and this to your tooth. And they're like, well, how do you do that without messing up the tooth next to it? And I'm like, I'm a trained professional.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. You're going to be fine.
Like, do you think
I know what I'm
trying
doing
this for the first time? No,
Yes.
this is not. I'm not guessing here.
All these other 3 rocks, they're all petrified wood with large crystals in them. This one has amethyst crystals in it, and this one is quartz
I remember
crystals.
amethyst. I remember that name from before.
It's because they're
learning so much about rocks.
He's got amphetamine crystals
He's got
in each rock.
No wonder I felt so good yesterday.
He loves rock hounding.
You would be shocked what these go for.
Okay, got it. We've learned a lot about rocks today.
Enough about that. So regardless, I'm feeling better. I might even line up for some races the rest of this summer, potentially.
Maybe Tabor next week? Jump in Tabor.
Dude, Tabor is not my jam.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that out loud. I just convinced Maddie to do it last night and told her it was great, and I know it's not. But
how did she do last night, by the way?
She did great. She hung on to the group till the end of the 3rd lap.
Okay.
And then the Cat 1-2 ladies just blew up the race at that point. She got dropped off on the last lap.
I didn't get a chance to see the results. Do you know if one of our teammates landed on the podium?
Yes, they did.
Laura and Christina, possibly?
Neither of them raced.
Oh, neither ran, huh?
Neither raced.
Maddie was the only one in the women's race.
Oh.
Yeah.
But another teammate, John Hatfield.
Oh, yeah, Johnny.
John Hatfield got away
that
on the
course
first
makes
lap.
sense for Hatfield, too.
Lap.
Yeah. No, on the second lap. He got away on the second lap and made it stick.
That's tough.
I still claim Hatfield as a triathlete. I'm gonna rack up the points from Dial triathletes this year.
Is not
Dial
a triathlete.
triathletes are just ringing it home for the road team this year.
Yeah,
Hatfield definitely came from triathlon. He counts as a triathlete.
No, he did not.
Also, all the points you get counts triathlon too. Just so you're aware.
That is true.
I did do some triathlons in a time of my life where I was unsure
Dark
about
time.
myself.
Very dark time.
I didn't know really what was cool and not, and I did triathlon. Okay.
all it takes is one.
But that's it. That's all I did. We'll see if I do some races.
What are you thinking about cyclocross? Feeling better about it?
I'm gonna have to just play it by ear, possibly. I'm hoping to do some of the short track races. We had our first short track race on July 5th. I missed it because I was traveling that day.
Because you were rock hounding. Yep.
But we did have a bunch of teammates who showed up, including our own Jake Von Duren. Jake, why don't you backpedal for us?
Oh, nice segue.
I raced my bicycle.
You raced your bike.
When was the last time you pinned a number? Let's not count the TT. Before the TT.
Ooh. I think it was last year.
He did a PIR.
I did a PIR.
You did a PIR last year.
White knuckled that whole thing. Nervous as hell that my shoulder was going to fall apart or somebody was going to take me out. And that was the last time I did a race. And then prior to that, it was probably another time trial.
Yeah.
So not much racing from this guy over here, but I'm trying desperately to get over this mental hump of being scared of getting hurt up there on the bike. And, some of it's for good reason. My shoulder is a piece of crap. I like literally did this race and like, if you can imagine like an old janky car coming apart because you're hitting speed and you see bolts and nuts starting to come loose and things are rattling and like, is that thing going to...
Not the bike, right?
Not the bike. Although my bike did have a mechanical. I'll get into that in just a second. But my shoulder was able to hold on. And as the race progressed, I could definitely feel it getting fatigued. And I was getting a little bit
tough on it. Yeah.
I was getting nervous that it was going to I was going to be going too hard or hit something wrong and it wasn't going to be able to correct, and then that would send me on the ground.
Yeah.
So like a friend of the show, a friend of the team, Kieran Crossley, was out there racing, and he went hard on something and ended up flying over the bars and landed on his shoulder and just got bruised and broken, or not broken, but his scapula was pretty messed up, and he was chicken winging it a little bit yesterday, like here dropping his bike off because it had some issues as well.
He broke some things.
Karen, just stick to the
on
TT,
his bike.
Man. Come on.
He's pretty good on the mountain bike too. But
he's a great cyclist.
Yeah, but I remember just seeing him during the race because we were in the same field, and he's standing there, his sunglasses are in the middle of the track, and he's over there kind of looking a little disheveled and like defeated. And I'm like, "You okay?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then fast forward, he DNF'd and
he was not
kind of
okay.
hurt. No, he was not okay. So, and there was a couple people like to start our race. We started 5 minutes late because the medic was taking care of somebody, and they needed to have the medic ready for this race in case something happened, and yada yada yada. But that's not the kind of stuff that I want to be experiencing when I'm racing my bike. So, and what was funny is after the race, we had a bunch of teammates that were coming up to me individually. Hey, is your shoulder okay? How's your shoulder? Did you do okay? Did you keep everything? And they were like worried, and each of them came at me and said, that was a really technical, hard course, and that's not like your typical short track stuff. I'm like, duh.
Yeah.
And they're like, that's the kind of stuff that we would expect from a very challenging technical mountain bike race, and we wanted to make sure your shoulder was all right. I'm like, yeah, it held up. So
that's good.
Good if they can make it through a race like that. Yeah. I mean, because that's like we know, like a road race is not going to be challenging like that, like to that level.
Yeah. And it was only 30 minutes. I mean, you're on the bubble for 30 minutes and there's technical stuff and you're working and whatnot. So, and it was really neat too. When I raced the men's 45 plus Cat 1, it was kind of funny because I'm like, when we raced short track in the past, line up in that same category with Lance and with Terry and a few other people.
Yeah.
And I went over there.
We'd have like 5 guys on the front row in dialed kits.
Yeah, racing the 45 plus Cat 1. So I'm like, all right, that's just where I'm going to go register. Although on my registration card or my license, it says I'm a mountain bike Cat 2.
Yeah.
So I went over, still registered for that, and I asked them like, "Hey, can you just tell me who's on the start list?" And they were going down, and I'm like, "I don't hear any names that I know. These aren't people I know." And I went over to some of the teammates. I'm like, "Hey, how come you guys what field are you in? How come you're not racing with me?" Like, "Oh, for this one, this is more like mountain bike style. We're going to stick with our category of Cat 2." I'm like, "Well, dang it!"
Yeah.
So I just went up there solo. It's kind of fun. But anyway, they called up all of the Cat 1s and the elites, and everybody's filtering down there, all these fast people and stuff. And I'm looking around trying to figure out who's in my field. And I look to my left and literally like queued up right next to me is Claire Honsinger. I'm like, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to get full on checked here by her. And she's like just such a little sweetheart. She's got a smile on her face and she went out there and she put it to everybody. She ends up taking 3rd on the podium in the men's elite field. So good on her for that. It was fun though. I did get to sit on her wheel for a couple laps until there was some traffic and she got around it and I didn't. I was like, well, I'm not going to keep up with you anyway. So have fun.
Yeah.
Claire is our reigning. Is she reigning?
Two-time
national cyclocross elite women's champion.
Probably one of the top 3, 4, or 5 in the world.
Yeah, probably.
And
she has made podiums in World Cup races.
She's won those, if I'm not mistaken. One of them, if I'm not mistaken, she won.
It wasn't a World Cup race.
Really?
It was like a C1 race.
Okay, gotcha. And she's racing road bikes now, and
she's racing road bikes for EF.
It's kind of cool. Like she's got the full on EF kit on. I'm like, this just seems a little bit surreal, but it's cool.
Yeah, racing next to an actual World Tour kit.
It was Evan Price for a second, but
I have never lined up next to a World Tour kit. I can promise you, never looked over and seen like a Bora kit.
So again, I'll wrap this up really quickly. Going into the race, I'm telling myself, all right, no, none of your teammates are here. Don't have any expectations. Don't try and do anything dumb. Just go out there and ride your bike and have fun. If you come in DFL, so be it. Not a big deal. And I just resolved with that. And the race starts, and I don't know why they did it this way. I'll have to ask Scott about this. But usually they'll like let people go based on your category, and they'll blow a whistle, and that whole group will leave. And like 30 seconds later, they'll blow a whistle, and that next category goes and keeps everything spaced out. They made everybody. I think there was 4 of us. The U45 or the U44s, the 45 pluses, the elites, and the women elites. There's I think there was 4 of us in that group.
4 fields.
4 fields. They blew the whistle. We all had to go at the same time. And it's a short, straight start, very short, and then it kicks uphill and bottlenecks. And so you're literally standing in line waiting to go around the corner.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it would have been a different race had they send it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of towards the rear-ish, if you will. I'm this just kind of bodes into me not wanting to be towards the front of this and having to push it hard. So I didn't really care, but it would be nice for competitive reasons if they broke it up a little bit more like they've done before in past. Exactly. Yeah. So you can see who the heck's in your field. You have no idea
who you're racing.
Exactly, because you don't have special. You can't see people's number plates because it's on the front. You're not wearing a pin on number, so you have no idea. Anyhow, I digress. They blow it, and I'm just I'm just gonna go ride. If I end up picking off a person or two, great, mission accomplished. Yeah. But you went out and started riding, and we were in that long line and things start to finally thin out and everybody gets to start to ride their race. And then I'm just doing laps. And Chris Hull, one of our teammates, was in there with me, and Paul First was in there with me. And we're all kind of close together, and we're just trying to, follow each other's lines and get fast and encouraging each other. And I picked off a few people, and I get to a point where it's just me and it's just Chris. And then there was one other guy with us, and I had a sneaking suspicion he was in our field, and let Chris go. Because he wasn't in my field, and I could watch his line and kind of do something like that, and then just kind of keep tabs on this other guy. And he's sitting on my wheel, and at the very end, I kind of played possum a little bit, with 1.5 laps to go, and kind of not forced him to come around me, but let him come around me, knowing all right, he was getting me on the downhill stuff because I was being a little bit more cautious.
Yeah,
and he would get a little bit of gap, but I'd easily catch up to him on all the climbs. I'm like, right, well, we're going to finish with the climb in a straight, so that bodes in my favor. I'll let him go through the technical stuff, watch his lines. and kind of go from there on the last lap. That happened. He goes down and he actually started getting after it a little bit harder, and he started to create a little bit more gap. I'm like, well, crap, I'm going to have to work a little bit harder. So I had to do a few little things, and then there was 2 last little climbs. The second to last climb, I caught up to him, and then on the last climb, I came around him right at the end and just like booked it and took
That's why he was trying to get away on
took
that.
it. And I'm like, all right, sweet. I passed one more person, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't come in last if he was in my field. And the results, I have no idea when they're going to call those up. So we're standing around waiting for podiums. They call up our field, and they're announcing the podiums, and they called that guy's name up for 3rd place. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then they called for me for 2nd place, and then another gentleman got 1st place.
Dude.
And I landed on the freaking podium. I don't know how that happened.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's actually pretty darn good as a podium ratio for you right now. If we just pick and choose the races here, we can keep the podium ratio at 100. And that's
exactly. So I've got 2 2nd places this year.
How does it feel to be back racing?
It was fun. It was really fun. It was fun to be out there with the team. It was fun to kind of tear that Band-Aid off a little bit.
Yeah.
My shoulder later on in the day got pretty fatigued, and I actually, and I'll talk to Evan about this, even though I've been doing like the rowing stuff and whatnot and doing my little exercises, I was getting like little muscle spasms in there where it makes your shoulder feel like it wants to dislocate. And I'm like, that's not happy times. So
that's like more intense fatigue is like that actual like the muscle spasm to actually defend itself.
Yeah. So
Similar stuff with like post race. If you think of your quads, like as you're sitting there and like the quads kind of start to fasciculate, it's that same idea.
Well, being the idiot that I am,
but you have nerve issues with that too, so your cramps are going to be a little bit more intense.
Yeah, it's just weird. I have to stop and I have to like concentrate and put it back into a position to get the muscles to settle down so it doesn't feel like it wants to subluxate. But I haven't ridden my bike with the exception of Matt and I just absolutely tearing up Heritage Trail like a week and a half ago.
Oh, that's true.
At a whopping like
bike.
9 miles an hour.
Oh no, we were slower than that probably.
I haven't ridden my mountain bike since last September. That's 10 months that I have not touched that bike. And the bar position on that, it doesn't sound like it's a big difference, but
it's
being wider and flat, and you're rotating your...
You're 100% right. Yeah.
It's a different feel, and I just haven't done that because that's how
it's
I
a different torque on your shoulder, too.
Exactly, so...
We can switch out those handlebars for you.
Put some drop bars on that.
Put some drop bars on there.
You know, maybe I should go race the gravel bike on these things. I don't know, because Nate's... Granted, it was pretty technical. Nate Scott went out there and raced his gravel bike. On his gravel bike, and he won.
Good for Nate.
Yeah.
That's because that's not easy. I mean, whenever I'm on my gravel bike, I'm always
granted,
like,
he was in Cat 3, and he's got a big motor. Nate's got a massive engine, and you know he's going to play that to his favor. But he self-professed said this was awesome for my bike handling skills, and that's fantastic for him. So
that's good because I want to be able to work for him in PIR now because I am worthless there. So I need somebody who can sprint like Nate.
Anyway. All kinds of other fun stuff. One other notable thing that was fantastic was I went camping down at Detroit Lake and went fishing and
you and
hung
Ed
out.
went on an epic ride.
And then Ed, he cooked up a special ride.
Dude, I love getting to coach Ed because he like, I have one other person like this.
Yeah.
The ride routes that he'll cook up and offer, I was like, I'm going to use this. I was like, thank you. I'll be using this later.
It's Magellan right there. I'm telling you.
That's awesome.
And him and Chris Hull and Jerry Pruitt too is another one. If we can get those 3 together to create they could
epic route. Yeah.
I mean, they'd be right up there with Our Mother the Mountain. I mean, they are that like skilled at coming up with different routes and whatnot. So, and they go out and ride them all in the Connect and all. But anyway, that was a fantastic ride. 50-mile ride with Ed, and we just had a blast.
Oh, I need to
beautiful
talk.
scenery.
I need to talk with you and you about me and David are maybe going to do a double grass vista loop.
Yeah.
Nice.
This week, not this weekend because the race next weekend. I think.
Okay.
I think
Which?
Like
Sunday. Yeah. The following weekend after that, that's the weekend of the
Hammer Crit.
No, that's Hag Lake, isn't it?
Hag Lake Triathlon. Yep, that's right.
Hag Lake.
Yes.
So are you not doing that? I've got to go out and work that.
The only reason was because me and David had to do it that day.
Training
and
reasons.
I have to have because we got Telluride come. I had to skip Hag Lake this year, which is a shame. But I will be doing Columbia River.
Yeah, I got to figure out. Anybody want to come out and work for Dialed Cycling Lab supporting them for tech? We've got Paul out of town. We've got Cameron out and just got to race that day. And I'm going to be at Timothy Lake. So Lance, you're going to be working that weekend.
Oh,
there you go.
We're going to assign you a job.
Don't worry. I heard Hag Lake has great rock hounding too, so you can just rock hound the entire time. Like, where's the mechanic? Oh, he's looking for rocks. He said to go pound rocks, by the way.
So yeah, let's kick this can down the road here, and we'll talk more about all this bike racing stuff and all that other fun stuff that we're going to be doing. Let's talk about this guy.
Champ here. I'm all about
Champ.
Champ
What's
Bailey
going on,
here.
dude?
How are we even going to do Champ Bailey? Because there's so much results.
No, nothing happened this week. Let's move on.
Okay.
Nothing happened. Okay, moving on.
That's a good point.
No, there is lots that happened this week. We are 6 stages into the Tour de France, and that is what we are going to talk about for the rest of this. I'm taking over.
What?
Champ
Champ is
takeover.
here,
A
and
champ
he's taken
takeover.
over. We're going to talk about...
Le
We're going
Tour.
to talk about how the Tour de France
French
up.
for the
It's been
tour.
super fun to watch. We're all caught up. We
great.
should tell people like, hey, spoilers ahead. If you haven't watched today's stage, we're going to talk about it.
We are going to
Exactly.
talk about it.
right now.
Screw you guys, we're talking about the tour.
We're talking about it
Spoilers.
right now.
If there's some stage that you haven't seen,
Specifically the one that just happened today. You
pause
should
the
probably watch it.
podcast. Pause the podcast. Go watch all the stages. Come back.
I do for once
We don't
actually
wanna
have
ruin
like
it for someone.
the actual numbers up here, so I'm not just saying like, yeah, I think it's in 5th and be completely wrong. So I've
Oh,
got 'em.
good. I tell you, the revelation, maybe it's not a revelation, but watching Wout van Aert this
my
week has
gosh.
just been amazing.
He rides a bicycle so
Let me
well.
ask you a
It's
question, though.
Every time.
Was
every time.
okay. So everybody knows we just finished stage
Stage
6
six.
this morning, and we're going to talk about everything up to stage 6. And maybe if we can get together, we can talk about more before,
Yeah.
in another podcast. But anyway, so we're talking about stage 6. On stage 6, the man gets up to be in a 3-man break.
Yes.
Was that a
Also-
dumb move?
So
I mean, he got some sprint jersey
Hindsight-
points, but
hindsight's 2020 here.
Yeah, he got the green
dude,
points that
he
he wanted.
broke away
Yeah,
with 100
I
miles
know.
left to
Okay,
go.
I know.
So did,
Also,
did
why
you,
on God's green earth is the Peloton letting him go at that
The
point?
yellow jersey.
no,
when
no.
has this ever
Yeah.
happened?
No,
Yeah,
wait.
seriously. I mean, that's a great question.
But he attacked like 10 times.
Oh, so he wanted.
Did you
to
hear
get
Quinn
back.
Simmons? He was a part of those, and he said that was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yes,
Yeah.
trying to go.
And
Yes.
Quinn
Wow.
Simmons has done a lot of hard things
Yes.
in his life, I'm sure.
So he attacked like 10 times. For the first 40 miles of the race, he would attack and they would pull him back. He
Yeah.
wock. Attack.
Okay, so they did
and
not
would pull
Match,
him
let him
back.
go.
match.
Yes, he kept going. He wanted to get in the break
Yeah.
by himself. When he finally got away with just Quinn Simmons and Jacob Fuglsang,
Yep.
it was just the three of them. He
Also,
was,
good on Fuglsang for getting that.
Yes.
Good point.
I
That's a good
like
point.
Fuglsang's is like outside guy for stages that I always love to see
Yep.
like in there because he's an exciting rider.
Well, he's a GC guy.
Yeah.
And he can climb. And so
because he
it
needed time
was-
back because he lost a ton of time
Right.
trial. But
So when it ended up just the three of them, Wout was quite disappointed. He was hoping that would be a bigger break, and when it was only the three of
and he's
them,
bummed that Quinn Simmons is there. 'Cause
he
He's like,
was
God,
like,
this guy.
no, he was happy to have Quinn there because
Quinn's strong,
nobody's
but-
worried about Quinn. Matter of fact, with like 10 or
It was
20
like-
or
it was like
12,
Boo, there's like 20 miles left, I think.
Fuglsang faked a
Oh,
mechanical.
yeah.
That's funny.
Fuglsang dropped it first.
He's like,
yeah.
wait a minute, what we're doing is stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was they're definitely going to pull us back if I'm in this break because I'm
Yeah.
a GC threat.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to go
So
back.
Fuglsang would make that sound like he sacrificed himself for Wout. But yeah,
Yes.
that's probably in his head. He's like, thank God, because I did not want to take one more pull for
I
this
did
guy.
not.
This
I did
was-
not see the fake mechanical. I just wasn't watching at that
Yeah.
time. Was it funny to watch?
That was
Well,
right when I
he-
turned it
Oh,
on.
my pedal!
Yeah.
Oh, I
just, like,
I clipped out.
Clipped himself. I was like, wow.
He just,
unclipped.
he just
I can't work
unclipped-
like this.
He unclipped one foot and just floated to the side.
That's funny.
And just
And then just
rolled
got
to
back
a
on his
stop.
bike.
Stop and take a
It
leak
wasn't
or
even like
something.
it wasn't a hard fake.
And then he got off the bike and he looked like behind him, and then here comes the
He
group.
like
He jumped back on.
He like spun his wheel once. He's like, no,
Yeah,
never mind, we're good.
It's all good.
We're good here.
I'm back in the group.
I think I can clip back in, guys.
Yeah,
I think
don't
I
worry,
can-
the clip still works. I just had to check.
had to double check that.
So-
I loved the look on. So then, like 10 miles later, let's say, Quinn's the look on. If you ever want to see like how special Wout van Aert is, Quinn Simmons is a really good bicycle rider.
Yes, he is.
And Wout took what seemed like a 4 or 5 minute long pull with Quinn not taking a pull for a while. Looks back, flicks his elbow once. Quinn just puts his head down, and you see Wout just
Right away.
Just
pull
right away.
And
it wasn't
Quinn
like
is
he-
just like dying at this point.
Weird how good he is.
It's
Wout didn't
very
attack.
weird.
He
No,
just
he
like
just rode.
I'm just gonna go a little bit harder
just
up this
rode
little
his
rise and pop.
Yeah.
There went Quinn.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it took Filippo Ganna and everybody else in the peloton to reel this guy in after. I mean, it was, yeah.
So they do end up pulling him back, and he after the race. This was a quote from Wout van Aert because people were asking him, "Why did you
What's the
do
deal?"
this?
Yeah.
What you're in the
bike
yellow
racing.
jersey?"
Yeah.
His whole point was it was a nice way to honor the yellow jersey.
Good on him.
I wanted to
How can you not like
he
this
knew
guy?
he was going to lose it
Yeah.
eventually, either today or tomorrow, because tomorrow
yeah.
is a climbing stage.
Yeah.
So he knew he was going to lose it either today or tomorrow, and he's like, "I want to honor this. I'm going to make the break," and he definitely tried very hard to make the break.
Also, I get to I am so good at just being wrong. Like, I think wasn't one of my hot
We don't
takes.
disagree with you.
Wout's not going to win a stage this year.
Yeah.
Did you really say that?
Oh yeah. I mean, like I couldn't have been any more wrong.
Please.
I couldn't have been
Go
any
back
more
and
wrong.
pull it up. Yep.
I cannot wait to continue. Now,
Well,
I
how's it
did
not
say I took the hot take that Pogacar is going to win. Way outside pick. Like way outside. That was out of
Bold.
nowhere.
Bold
Bold
move.
pick on my part.
I picked him to win today. I
did
think
too.
you did too.
I know, because we had big points.
Yeah.
Wout, I think if he was to analyze this stage, yeah, I think that's like good on him for that because cycling's exciting when guys do stuff like what Wout does.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that one of the best bicycle riders in the world, him and Pogacar, are guys that want to win races. You go back to like the
thought Wout was
90s.
the other guy I thought might win today.
If the
Yeah.
break stuck, he would have won.
Or if he had just slightly
If
rode
he
differently.
wouldn't have gone in the break, I bet Wout would win because that type of climb, I'm not putting
It's
Pogacar
possible.
over Wout on that climb. Just the way that played out.
Or if there were 6 guys in the break,
If he was able to take a break
he,
every little bit.
he could have
Yeah.
won.
I mean, I think he got green points, which I think is
He got 20 points
is nice.
for the mid.
for that
Intermediate,
crazy effort.
Yep.
Which
Yeah.
is a big effort.
And the other guys didn't even contest it. They're like,
Yeah.
take the points.
Well, I mean, Caleb's still getting just randomly dropped throughout the tour, so
Yeah.
it's not like Caleb's going to challenge him. Sagan is.
Sagan hasn't
Didn't
been.
even challenge
Where
for
was
the.
Sagan? And I
was
didn't
pretty
see
far
him
back.
in the
He
last.
was pretty far back.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even
But,
close.
but
and
even
it's-
on the cobble stage, he's not been in the mix.
and MVP. I mean, MVP
Still
didn't make an
third.
excuse for his cobbles. He just
I'm a
wasn't
shadow
there.
of myself.
Yeah, I'm a shadow,
Yep.
which was really sad to read.
Yeah,
Like this is.
yeah.
I actually
He was my
picked,
pick for that
I
cobble
actually
stage,
picked him to
yeah.
win that stage because I
So did
thought
I.
I was like MVP is going to show us that he's still alpha
dude.
over Wout. Because
Yeah.
let's remember, growing up, these two,
Yep.
we can't forget these years. Wout couldn't beat him for a very long time in their lives.
Okay, wait. They're a year apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have been
And-
racing each other since they were 2.
Yeah, well, they've been racing each other since like 11 or
They
12
raced
years
out of
old.
the womb.
Yeah.
They
And
raced.
because
Yeah,
they raced
exactly.
cyclocross
Yeah,
together.
MVP's a little older. He beat him
And then Wout won the World Cyclocross Championship
when MVP was not there, though, right?
3 times.
Yeah.
Wout won 3 times, and then MVP has come and won the World Cyclocross Championship 3 times.
Yeah.
So, but Wout beat MVP was there one of those years.
I think it was a mechanical issue,
Yeah.
though, wasn't it? It was just good because I was reading an article where they were talking about like the psyche between these two. Is that they're for the longest time when they were growing up, MVP was like the dominant, like it was in Wout's head that MVP is the
Yes.
best. Like I have to beat him.
But he's not right now.
Right now,
He
Wout.
is,
Well,
MVP is looking rough.
Yeah.
I
Is he-
really do wonder if his injuries have just
Something.
accumulated over time, and he is just not. I mean, because to beat a guy like Wout. And to be at that level, you have to be in control of your mental game, 100%. Because these guys are going through injuries probably.
Here's my
twice a month.
like hot take that is going to come back to haunt me. I think he's going to drop out. I think he's going to drop out like tomorrow. I think he's done. I don't think he's going to start tomorrow.
If he wins tomorrow's stage,
I know,
that's
right?
hilarious.
It's
I
gonna
know.
be funny.
If he comes
It's gonna
back
be
and
so
like
funny.
solo break
That's
for
like-
80 miles, and like,
Okay, so here's a question.
I think he's.
Wout,
I don't think he's going to start.
Wout banged his
what?
knee. I'm doing air quotes.
Oh,
he
yeah.
faked
and,
it.
s-
No, he
and skipped
faked it.
his national championship.
Of course his knee was fine.
Did MVP skip his national championship? Maybe did he go to it? And then
I don't even know. Was he at the Dutch? I have no idea if he was.
That's a dumb comment. So.
No, you're right. But,
That's
but I mean, like-
legitimate if you ask me. Yeah.
well, and this is also who was the who was the director of Sport TV like called out Wout. He's like, oh, I can't believe he skipped his national
It was
championship.
Lefebvre.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Lefebvre. Yeah.
That quick step guy.
He was right.
You know, I mean, he's right that he faked it, but then do something about it, like beat him, and they're not doing that. So
I tell you,
they got some stages. I mean, Quick Step had a good tour, but
watching Wout take second, and then that day when he attacked with like 7K to go
Yeah.
and
my gosh.
won
That was
going away.
stage 4.
I think it was 4.
4.
Yeah.
It was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was amazing.
that was
The
amazing.
guys he
Yeah.
was dropping, I was like,
Yeah.
like
And you're-
Vangago was
Yeah.
like he like dropped him.
He dropped
Yeah.
him.
I'm like,
Well, they
on a-
launched that attack, and that was like, I mean, your watch happened, and like this is what I wish a tour would do. I know most people could watch a tour don't care. I want to see that power profile at the bottom because I'm like, what on God's green earth is this guy holding right now?
So,
and I know it's the timing of the attack too. Like that's what makes it so vicious looking is the timing.
it
But
was like an 800-meter section or 900-meter section, and he
He's gotta be in
held
the 700s.
he held 850. He held 850 for a 1K.
for what, like
almost.
a minute then?
Yeah.
Like probably a little over a minute.
Yep.
And then after that, he
and
still
then
kept going.
and
yeah.
then it was a
crept downhill.
flat rolling stage, and he held
Yes, to
like
still hold it.
and then he held like 35 miles
So
an
like
hour
another 5K or something.
on the flats by himself. on the run in.
He put 22 seconds into that field so fast. Yeah. It's like you blink your eyes and like, whoa, wait, where did everybody go?
He is like not human.
I know.
I'll tell you what, the one time Jumbo Visma just struggled on that cobble stage.
Okay, the cobble stage was so exciting to watch.
Did you hear how many bikes and wheels they brought? No. Jumbo Visma jinxed themselves. They
30
brought,
bikes and 60
30
wheels.
Bikes and 60 wheels.
Yeah.
They're like, we're going to use all of them. We brought them. So we're going to use them.
Vingegaard at one point was just like, not this bike. Nope, this bike. Nope, that one.
Did you see him pedal? And he was like,
couldn't touch the pedals.
He had to like stand up the whole way.
He was on the tallest guy in the field's bike.
Yeah.
Van Hoorden, I think, is the guy's name on that team. He's the tallest guy in the peloton.
I hope there's some good pictures of that.
Oh,
if not, we should Photoshop it too to make it look even better.
Just put Matt on the bike.
But that was, I mean, like he crashed there, and I was like, "Oh shoot, he looks like he's hurt."
Went down.
Wout
went down, and then it split. What happened was that it split their team up. A couple people stayed with Wout, a couple stayed with Roglic. And then a couple stayed with Vingegaard.
And then the tallest guy stayed with Vingegaard just to make sure they could switch bikes.
They all crashed. All the three of those guys each crashed.
Roglic went down, dislocated his shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Vingegaard didn't crash.
after that,
he
just
hit a mechanical, I thought.
Punctured. He had mechanicals.
But did you hear him afterwards? He's like, "Yeah, I was able to pop it back in and finish the race." And I'm like, "Oh, you're
anybody
tough.
People who
ski jumpers."
Yep.
I know
Mel Gibson.
I love.
Then I was like, maybe his tour is over. But today he looked good. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take from today.
Roglic attacked at the very end, hoping to win the stage.
But that's after that shoulder. After that shoulder,
he looked strong, whipping the bike back and forth too. Yes,
I mean, adrenaline. Very dominant lieutenant for Vingegaard going forward. Roglic is done.
I think you're right.
I agree.
He lost 2 minutes on that stage.
Yep.
So
Vingegaard's in position right now.
Vingegaard's in position.
I think that's probably a good thing. Honestly, for Jumbo Visma, granted, you want to have both your guys healthy. You want to have both of them right in the mix. But I think it helps two things. It takes pressure off of Wout.
Yep.
Because Roglic now can work for somebody.
Yep.
And Wout can go do his green jersey thing and help out a few times. And then they've got a good squad around Vingegaard. They've just got to get him in a position where he can.
Now you have Sepp and Roglic that can stay with Vingegaard when Pogacar's going to go, because he's going to go multiple times during this race. So you're going to need as much help around him as possible.
So I have a question for you guys. I'm sorry if I cut you off. How do you beat Pogacar? Yeah. How do you beat him? I mean, I've got some ideas, but
I have some ideas. They're all called sabotage.
Yeah.
Stick in the spokes.
Oh, we need a
packs.
You
got to throw some packs out.
So I know the
Put something in
direction
his water bottle.
I know the direction Jake's going to go with this, and we're going to completely agree. It's going to be political is how you have to win it. So you got to basically make treaties.
To be a gentleman's agreement amongst the teams to put it to him and put some time into them. And that's the only way you're going to beat this kid.
Yep.
He is going to beat you single-handedly.
And the hardest part of this, too, is I've started to realize, I think sometimes in these situations, you're going to get a guy that's maybe just wanting to get third.
Yeah.
So everybody battling for third. There's a big group of guys right now battling for third. They're going to get greedy because they don't really care about the guy trying to then beat Pogacar. All they want is that one good day where their legs feel good. They want to follow Pogacar. And they just want to stay with him and like, drag me onto the podium, young man. Please drag me onto the podium. Yeah. Like if G has good legs one day and he's all of a sudden on Pogacar's wheel, I guarantee he's going to trade pulls him and be like, yeah, man, we got this. Like, come on. Because he wants that third.
I want to look at those numbers. Like, where's Adam Yates?
Like, Adam Yates is strong.
He's in the mix right
now.
He's in the mix.
Fifth or sixth or something like that.
All of the Ineos riders are doing well, I think.
Yes.
There's like a big block of them.
Pidcock is in the mix.
He's in top 10.
Yeah.
He's in the top 5.
G's in the top 10.
He's in the top
now.
5?
I think Pidcock's in the top 5 right now.
Evan had that
I just
pulled
didn't
up.
Expect.
Just a sec,
I don't expect him to actually finish the tour.
So right now, strangely enough, you have 3 Ineos Grenadier British guys right in a row, basically. So you got Yates is, this is hilarious. Yates is 39 seconds back. Pidcock is 40 seconds, and G is 46. So call it a wash on the team right now. Yeah. But I do think, here's the thing, is it's going to be whoever loses the least time tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be a big day.
Tomorrow's a big day
I figure
because
Adam Yates should be
somebody on Ineos is going to lose time.
Yep.
My guess is G. G will probably lose the time.
I know. I hope
that's
not.
That's my guess.
Maybe he's fitter than we think.
I would love to see G be fit. I mean, that'd be great. I'm just saying, like, tomorrow. Odds on, you're looking at that. I mean,
where's
Yates
Martinez at?
Martinez is not in 8th, and he is 1 minute back.
They have not had as many issues as
Ineos
like
and Jumbo have to come together, and
You got to throw a third team in there as well.
Vlasov crashed today too, which sucks because Vlasov was in great fitness too. So like, if you have these guys here, the problem is the pariahs that want to get third place. But if Ineos and JV say we respond to everything that Pogačar does, and then we are going to send. So you have.
It's not going to matter. He's just going to ride.
I know.
All he has to do is ride
but
smart and wait for the hilltop finishes.
Vingegaard, Yates, Pidcock, G.
Yep.
No, Vlasov's still in 7th. My bad there. Danny Martinez and Bardet is sneakily in 9th.
I love it. We should all be cheering for Bardet.
And then, I'm 100% cheering for Bardet. And then Gaudu is in 10th. If you get all 7 of those guys to say, okay, I'm going to burn my match, you all force Pogačar to chase.
No way that's going to happen.
But that's the only way you can beat this guy, because otherwise, Pogačar's already proven that nobody has a match bigger than his, and his match box in the mountains is probably better than anybody else's.
You think that those guys'
now.
egos are small enough that they're going to be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll sacrifice
I'll
my,
let Yates
I'll
go.
sacrifice
Yeah,
my stuff.
No, you're
No way.
right. There's no
This
way
is the
that's
problem.
happening.
This is the
Maybe
problem is
the
because
Ineos
everybody
team,
battling
maybe.
for third. So if Yates goes, Vlasov's not going to be like, no, I'm battling for the win. I'm going to let him go. No, he's going to, of course, follow that move.
Yeah.
And then Pogačar just has to respond slowly.
But I bet between those 3 Ineos guys that are all in the top 10
Just
right now,
light him up.
but
Yeah.
one of
Four.
them,
Four,
so
Aaron.
there's 4 of them.
Yeah.
One of those guys is the designated leader for the team. We just don't know
I think
who
it's
it
Yates.
is.
You think it's
I think
Yates?
it's Yates.
It's either Yates or it's Martinez.
Martinez.
I think it's
I
Martinez.
think it's going to be.
We're gonna find out
might
tomorrow.
be
Pidcock,
Martinez, but I
Yates,
think
we'll
Yates
find out
is going to be the
tomorrow.
legs. I
It's
think
not
Yates is
Pidcock.
going to have the legs. It's
We'll
definitely
see.
not Pidcock. Yeah,
No.
it's not Pidcock.
No, it's not Pidcock.
Here's the problem: is if G gets dropped as the pace in the mountains really starts to pick up, then you're basically down to 3. And Pidcock is young, so I'm not. I mean, if I'm Pogačar and I see Pidcock go, as much as I love Pidcock,
let him.
it's like, dude, I'm going to out time trial this guy by a mile. Yes, he's time trialing well, but Pogačar knows.
He time trialed
did
like
really
into
well.
the top 10.
Yeah, but he was still like
fifth.
20 seconds, I think, off of Pogačar.
Yes, but he beat all his teamates.
He did. He did.
Yeah.
No, you're
Pidcock.
Impressive.
But also, G was
G was
wearing a
wearing his-
parachute.
But G was wearing his rain vest. Forgot to take it off.
That's
G
funny.
lost 30 seconds off of just wearing his raincoat. So
Whoopsie. Isn't like
He was joking about it. Did you see
I
that?
know,
He was
yeah.
like going to auction it off for
Yeah.
like charity,
No way. That's
the
funny.
rain
If he
vest,
wins
or he's
this-
going to wear it again.
if he
just-
wins
yeah.
this tour, that rain vest just became wildly more valuable.
he's wearing like what, like a $500 or $600 skin suit.
Yes.
Forgot to
Forgot
take
to
off the
take
rain.
off his
I
rain
know.
vest.
My God.
Crazy. Do you think Ineos should have sent somebody today in that break?
Yeah. I mean, hindsight being 2020, yeah, because they could have stayed away with Wow.
I mean, looking at the power that was in there and seeing who was trying to break
G.
away.
I mean, why not like send G? Because that type of ride is perfect for G.
But,
It's
and
like
if
but
they-
if another GC
They
guy
can't-
got
they
in
wouldn't
there,
let
they
him go.
They wouldn't
would
let it go.
They
You're
wouldn't
right.
have let
Yeah.
it go.
I think
well, but
they,
Ineos was driving the pace. Obviously, if G's there, Filippo's not going to be on the front driving the
so
pace there.
if you've got Wout in there and you've got somebody from Ineos,
Yeah.
what's Ineos and Jumbo-Visma going to do? They're not going to chase.
They're not going to pull.
No,
And
they don't do any
UAE
work.
does not look strong enough
No.
right now to do that. So all of a sudden, Pogačar's got to make deals with the teams around
Yeah.
him where they got to be on the phone
Did you see
basically
McNulty
saying, like,
after
guys,
the race
work
today?
for us.
That dude
No.
was spent.
Oh, I know. And also,
Hershey is
I was also
spent.
100% wrong on McNulty because I was like, this guy's going to be like, he's going to get results this year. Now it's Nielsen Powers who's
but
looking
still,
great.
I mean, I think he's doing well.
Oh,
he's doing his job.
McNulty's in a tough
feel like they
race.
should
I
be
mean,
proud.
this is brutal racing, and
Yeah,
the Americans are doing
I
great
think he
right now.
crashed on
Actually,
the cobbles.
So you just mentioned another name that we need to talk about, Nielsen Paulsen.
yeah,
Powers.
Powers, yeah.
He's 4 seconds off the yellow jersey in
close.
second place right
2
now.
days in a
So
row.
close twice.
Tantalizingly
Where's
close.
he going to be tomorrow?
Yeah,
I mean,
he'll be 5 minutes down tomorrow.
No, honestly, do you think he takes a chance to try and put himself in a position?
Look, here's the thing. This kid is strong. I mean, like Nielsen's no joke, but Nielsen's still more of a rollier. I think when you get those
Yeah.
longer climbs, I'm not.
And
And
there can be
hopefully, I'm
breakaways.
wrong. I would love to be wrong. If Nielsen's in that last move, oh my God, we will all be cheering for this kid. Like,
Yeah.
I mean. We need. I was seeing that this would have been the first American yellow since 2006. Which
21?
anybody want to take a guess at who the last American yellow jersey was?
Don't say Lance Armstrong.
Was it? Oh, hold on, don't say it.
It was not Lance.
Floyd.
Yes,
Yep.
Floyd Landis.
Yep.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Floyd
been a
Landis.
long time.
In the year that he won and then didn't win quickly after.
Yeah.
But who's the team leader for EF is
Iran.
Rigoberto
Rigo.
Urán, and he's already out. I
Is
think he's
he?
already lost minutes.
So they might be. I mean,
He's not. He's still racing, but
Not in the top 10.
he's lost
Going
minutes.
for stages, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the thing with these early in the first week when you look
he would
at
be a good pick for like winning the stage tomorrow.
Possibly he's got
Rigo?
nothing to lose.
Yeah,
If he has nothing to lose.
Yeah, and that type of climbing
That'd
is
be
absolutely
interesting.
his. But, this is when you see a guy like Wout, Nielsen, or God, I love him, Magnus Cort in these early state. The first week, everybody always gets like excited about, oh my God, like, does Wout have a chance to win the GC, or is Nielsen going to be there in the top 10?
That's what I mean. When he was in that breakaway, I was like, "What the heck is he going to win the whole?"
These guys have burnt their matches in the first week on purpose. That's what they're doing.
That's what they're. Yeah.
Not everybody's Wout, where like God, he's an alien and probably still will be making moves late in the state. Like Magnus Cort's tour is almost done at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he just needs to hang on polka dot jersey points and make into 1 or 2 more breakaways.
He was off the back and lost like 5 minutes today.
But he got the points he needed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the only
until
thing.
tomorrow.
But he knows. But that's the thing is like,
And this
he
is the
knows
problem.
exactly.
You can get those early polka dot stage points,
Yeah.
but then do you burn all your matches for now we're climbing? Now we're like really climbing.
But here's the
Now
thing:
we're like-
he could have gotten this polka dot jersey and burnt himself out in that first week, which he did,
Yeah.
or he could finish somewhere in the middle. I mean, like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like he's gonna
He
have
got
had
the
a jersey
jersey.
because
He did
his
thing.
race is the
Keep it as
middle of
long
those
as-
races if you're
Yeah.
watching. Because I actually think even today when he pulled, I think when he pulled back, he's like
Yeah.
saving himself and stuff. Like he knows, he's like, why am I trying to stay with these last moves? Like I'm not going to win the stage. Just let it go.
yeah.
But
Also,
good on him being in the cobble. He was like in the breakaway in the cobbles too.
Yeah.
Magnus Cort is
Great
a
race.
amazing rider.
Great
Like, this guy
week.
is,
He's had a great week.
amazing.
He has.
Yeah, great week.
That's like, this is the coolest thing about this first week is you almost have to like, okay, you're like, who's the MVP from this first? Because the instinct says Wout. But like you look at some, I mean, Magnus Cort had an amazing first week. Nielsen Paulus is like right there.
He was like in it every
within
week.
seconds of the yellow jersey for Nielsen. Pogacar just threw down a hammer 2 days in a row. I mean, that's
Yeah, but he's been playing it smart. It looks to me, Pogacar. I mean,
Yes.
he seems like he's been like that cobble stage.
He's
He
throwing the
was up
matches.
in the front on
Yeah.
the cobble
Playing
stage.
it
He was
safe.
in the top
He
like
wanted to be
5
there
or
where it's
10.
safe.
He's riding with Stuyven. Stuyven is like made for the cobbles, and Pogacar's like taking longer pulls than he is.
Yeah.
He's had some narrow misses though. I mean, that guy's like
Yeah.
they make
Yeah,
mention
yeah.
that he's got his 9
Yeah.
lives, and he's used a couple of those.
He's pretty darn good at avoiding crashes,
Yeah.
though. He's smart for his age in the peloton. He's very smart. Did you know he's not 24 yet either? He hasn't even turned 24.
He's 23.
How many? It's like 30 something
Dang.
straight stages in a row
Yeah.
that he's wore the white jersey.
So what I was wondering stat wise too, if he wins this tour, has anybody ever won 3 tours in the white jersey?
I'd have to say
I'm
no.
trying to think.
can't
Alberto,
think so.
I think won 2 in the white, maybe 1. Alberto, I know won 1 in the white jersey, maybe 2. So he might be tied with Alberto right now. But outside of that, I know back in when you're talking old historical tours, like, I mean, there'd be a flash in the pan young guy that would win it, but usually you're talking the established dudes won at that time. Yeah, you did not get some 22-year-old jumping in and win the tours, especially in some of the like dominant eras of Merckx and, guys like that.
What did I miss? Had
I'd say-
to go potty.
Magnus Cort is fast.
Yes.
Yes.
It
Very
has been
strong.
fun to watch.
It's been super fun.
It has been fun to watch.
We're entering a way more fun era of Grand Tours now. There was like the Sky Train and the Lance era were really boring tours. Like I love the Tour de France, but those were
Play
boring
devil's
eras.
advocate to that.
Yeah.
What's going to change from here going forward? Wout's going to win in green, and
Yeah, but it's
Pogacar's going to be yellow.
But it's
and-
everything else
yeah.
around it that's exciting, I think.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
like when Pogacar's dominating, when you look at like, hey, the battle for first, you're like, yeah, it was basically just Pogacar. But like,
It
I
could
mean,
get boring though. I
it
could see it being
could.
like,
It could.
Yeah,
Well,
Pogacar.
I
First
think
week of the
tomorrow's
tours are the most exciting.
The next couple days are going to dictate whether or not it gets boring. If Pogacar all of a sudden has like a minute or
What
2
if he has
minute
one
lead,
crash? One crash.
There's
Yeah.
that. But he's
Yeah,
got
there's
all of his
always
9s.
crash.
He's still got what 7 lives.
7 lives left. He does. Well, Wout used all 9 dodging that car.
Oh,
Everybody
the
saw
team
that.
car he
Awesome.
bounced off of.
My
Yeah,
God, that was.
that's some bike handling right there. That's just a cross race for him. It's like
Yeah.
banging bars with somebody.
hitting a
man.
car. Oh my God.
Has Wout done too much though? Too early?
I don't know. I mean, his
a good
his
question.
goal was to win the green jersey.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what he wanted to do. And then when he got yellow, which I don't think was quite I think he was hoping to win yellow on
Yeah.
day 1.
Yeah, but that wasn't
Right.
like mission number 1. No, yeah.
When it didn't happen, it was like once he got yellow, he really wanted to honor it, like
Yeah,
he
cool.
said, and just like
Well, and that's the problem is like through honoring the jersey, did he just burn? I think in the next couple days we're not going to see much out of Wout. I think
I would.
we're gonna have
He
a couple
should
days.
have if he's. he should have a quiet day tomorrow. I hope
should.
he doesn't go win, but that's
Unless
another one of those sayings that'll come back to haunt me.
That would be weird if he won tomorrow. If Wout wins tomorrow. Okay,
when he wins Mont Ventoux,
Yeah, don't
like
forget
he did last year.
he won Mont Ventoux stage last year.
he did.
is
He
weird.
did. But there's
There's gravel up at the top of the next stage. He loves gravel.
Yeah, exactly. So I've watched a couple videos on when he won Mont Ventoux. There was a scenario that played out that really favored him winning that. He did not have the fastest time up Ventoux that day. It was the way that race played out. If he straight up hits the bottom of one of these big climbs here coming up and just wins, if he is out climbing Pogacar right now at any of these stages coming up when Pogacar's on all alarms bar and is not trying to play tactically.
No.
I mean, is that weird? Is anybody else
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's suspicious.
Because I wanted to bring up that question before we're done.
But he's never going to be the guy that's protected halfway up the climb and attacks. He's going to be the guy on the front drilling it until he's done and Sepp takes over.
Well, then that's exactly it. Like, if he wins one of these, then what does that show? Because we know he's in that line protecting Vingegaard.
Well, maybe
he is protecting.
I think that they could play it a little smarter, and they could be like, "Hey, you need to take a breather, buddy, and think about that green jersey. He's got to. I mean, he wants to win in Paris again, like he did before. Because that's the stage, right?
Which would be amazing if he wins the Champs-Élysées 2 years in a row. That's amazing.
Oh man, that'd be crazy. Yeah. But crazy things happen for him.
Yes, and I think too, probably tomorrow what's going to happen is he'll be part of the team that's going to drag them to the start of the climb, probably try to minimize the gap to the break, and then he's going to probably pull off.
Maybe he could just sit in.
Speaking of green jerseys, was Fabio Jacobsen the correct call over Cavendish?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
He's the best sprinter in the world right now.
Yeah, it was.
I got nipped today at the halfway point. But
I know, but he's still. I think if you're on a drag race right now, I'm taking Jacobsen. Yeah.
Even over Wout, huh?
Yeah, over Wout at the very top end, and even over Groenewegen. And
if you look at the second stage, you can see it.
Is it an unpopular opinion that I was actually happy to see Groenewegen win?
I don't know.
You're the only guy.
I know. I was happy to see him win.
You're the only one to see him win.
I was happy to see him win.
Know anything about his character? Emotional. I mean, obviously he made a very poor decision in a race that caused Jacobsen to get very hurt, and it was very terrible. And he was
dropped by his team. He was on Jumbo Visma. He was dropped by Jumbo Visma. He was sanctioned for 9 months. He could not race in a World Tour race for 9 months,
which means he lost a lot of money.
Yeah,
and he's been shunned by everyone.
Yes, he has.
Bike Exchange said it's Bike Exchange, right?
It's Bike Exchange
said we're going to take a flyer on you. We're going to take you in, and he's trying to get back some of his.
His team has actually come around him. There's been some public statements from his team saying that this guy is not what he has been displayed in the media.
Yeah,
he got death threats,
and he got 9 months worth of death threats. Yeah. And so here's I'll take the quotes from Robbie McEwen because obviously none of us know Jacobsen or Groenewegen.
Yeah.
Robbie McEwen spoke pretty candidly about it, which actually kind of surprised me. Spoke very direct. Usually these guys will be he's veiled.
He's put his foot in his mouth a little bit.
Robbie McEwen is very Australian.
He's very
any Australian in an interview is always going to tell you exactly what he thinks on the issue. But Robbie McEwen was saying he knows Groenewegen and has said he has changed as a person since this has happened.
Yeah.
He is, and Robbie McEwen has been in these sprints. He was saying nobody wants to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
He said Groenewegen was not trying to hurt Jacobsen. Mm-hmm. It is you have to have a killer instinct to win. These guys are going 45 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's anybody who's ever tried to control a bike at 45 miles an hour. I know Lance over here has. There are momentary decisions that maybe in that moment you're like, oh, I need to get this guy squeezed out. And you don't realize that, holy crap, I might be killing this guy right now. That's not going through your head in that moment.
Right.
It's from the guy who climbs at 12 miles an hour, where if I run a guy off the road at 12 miles an hour, somebody put my head on the stake.
Stop. They're going to pick up a rock and still be able to nail you with it.
I deserve it. Yeah. But it's different at those high speeds. And Robbie McEwen being somebody who was in the peloton for as long as he was, saying the things he said about Groenewegen, where he's like, this guy has changed. He apparently has written letters to Jacobsen. Mm-hmm. He has tried to reach out to him. They had a meeting. And Groenewegen thought it went way differently than it did, apparently.
He thought it went well. And
he thought it went well.
Didn't.
Jacobsen in the interview even said, he was basically said he's dead to me still. He's like, no, I will not forgive him for this. Yeah. So terrible things happen all the time in bike racing, in my opinion. Yeah. If Groenewegen's going out of his way to
make amends,
and Jacobsen is, yes, we can all sit here and say, oh, I feel so bad for Jakobsen in these situations. But if you're the guy that's never going to forgive somebody no matter what, I kind of...
Yeah.
My gut instinct is to feel less sorry for you in that situation then. Because you were given the chance to come to amends with something that was terrible.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it's not like Groenewegen held a gun to him and shot him in the chest and killed his kid or anything like that. We're not talking about something that's unforgivable.
Correct.
This is bike
He just
racing.
broke his
This
face
is
and broke
bike
his
racing.
jaw
Yeah.
and punctured his lung and broke some ribs. And
Terrible injury.
Yeah, it was a terrible injury.
I understand that for 6 months afterwards, while he's like actually recovering from that, I'd be like, oh, screw you, Groenewegen.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't realize. But once we've come out of that and he's clearly making the attempts, and I'm sure there's things that we don't know about it. Maybe Groenewegen is just being in the public. But from what Robbie McEwen said, knowing both of them, I'm more sympathetic towards Groenewegen. Now, if Robbie McEwen came out and said, no, Groenewegen is a piece of trash and is a terrible human being, I'd be like, yeah, if I was Jakobsen, I'd probably say, like, no, I don't forgive this guy.
If we can get a good, solid testament to his character, and if he's trying to do the right things, and his character is that he wants to be the right, he wants to do the right thing. He wants to be a good guy. He wants to apologize. He wants to make amends.
Yeah.
And if Jakobsen's not accepting that, that's on him. But I mean, so I guess to answer your question,
100% his right.
If he's doing all of the right things,
45 miles an hour. But.
You got to forgive. You're not going to totally forget, but you got to forgive and let the guy have a chance to do what he does best. And if he's going to be able to win a bike race,
also,
that's fine.
Good on them, both of them coming back to the top of the sport. I mean, they both just won back-to-back stage sprint.
That's amazing.
True. After an event like that, I mean, you know, coming back to racing after this, I know, you know, we've all had really bad crashes. I know, you know, coming back to some sprints for me, quote unquote, after really, really bad crashes.
Yeah, your sprint career has taken off after
it has. It absolutely has. I'll tell you what. But like, I mean, getting into that situation, especially for Jakobsen, like taking the line he had to take the win. I mean, he basically had to go along the barriers again. Like, that's amazing mental strength to be able to be like, all right, I had a truly traumatic experience here. We are going to somehow make it through this still.
Do it all
that was
again.
after bouncing off of Sagan's shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
They like bounced,
Also,
bounced.
What was Sagan pointing at there? I know. So
With Wout?
I know we have some people who love Sagan here, so they're going to argue.
Wout was closing him out.
Racing.
no,
I know, but he was kind of pushing him towards the barriers, and he
still had space. He had space.
But Sagan had to like back off.
Yeah.
And that's why.
But also, how many times has Sagan done that?
Exactly. Hold on, though.
Yeah.
On that same note, if it was role reversal there, and that was Sagan doing that to Wout, he would get relegated like he did before in the past. And what he's been told, you cannot do this.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what am I supposed to do in this situation? You know,
Because I don't think actually Wout in that situation was doing that on purpose. When you watch that slow, but it was like the last 20 meters
just
of
heads down
power. He's just
sprinting.
head down sprinting.
Yeah.
So it might be if
Didn't hold his
Peter
line, though.
wants that. Yeah, I know. But so if Peter wants that gap, he needed to get there earlier.
Yeah.
You know, I mean
And
that's the closing out of the sprint.
But what did Sagan say about it after the race?
He was pretty cool about it. He was like,
He
you know
said-
what? There's judges.
He goes, I'm not going to say anything. It's up to the jury. There's a jury for the reason.
That's good on him.
Jury
Yeah.
can make
That
the
was good.
decision.
There you
That
go.
was a good
Very
call.
good on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they didn't.
No,
jury
I
didn't do
still like Sagan. I just love the intensity of these like these sprinters are so like this is so different than climbing because climbing it's like, well, he beat me, but yeah, I mean he beat me. Like, there's never been like a tense moment in a climb. It's like, oh yeah, that guy's moving faster than the other guy. This is over.
Sprints are interesting, aren't they?
They're emotional. They're very,
They're
it's like
nuts.
F1 racers. Those guys are nuts.
I mean, your head's
They're
over
crazy
the
people.
bars, you're dropped down, your back end's wagging around a little bit, you're putting out 15, 16, 1700 watts, maybe
Just
even more.
different world.
And you're just
Different world in person.
Yeah, you're trying to hold your line and not kill yourself and other people. There's a lot of little nuances to go into that.
The best sprint of this tour so far, though, was Groenewegen's, in my opinion. The gap that guy shoved himself into to win that was insane. And the bike throw was, it was three excellent bike throws there. It was Groenewegen, Wout, and who else threw there? Was it Philipsen? Jakobsen. Was it Jakobsen too? Yeah, I mean, they all three had like textbook bike throws and just barely had it, but
Crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
How clean is this tour?
That's a great question.
We have no idea. Wasn't there a drug bust right before the tour?
Yes.
There was a raid, but
there was a raid, and they found
a
some
raid.
things, but
they're like, we don't know what this stuff is.
but nothing's happened with it at all.
They found a bunch of Playboy magazines. Is what they
Well, they found like some pills and some thing, but it could all be legal stuff.
Ketones now,
Yeah,
or,
it's
you know.
not necessarily legal, but it's also not illegal. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's,
what
my
team
opinion
did they
is,
bust? Do you remember what team it was? I can't remember.
Bahrain.
Bahrain, thank you.
Bahrain.
Bahrain.
They're all probably using something.
Yeah. There's,
most of them that we just don't.
Ketones right now are very effective, and they're openly using the tour. It could be as simple as, I like to think they are not racing on quote unquote Paniagua. They're not bread and water racing. We know that these guys are being as close to the line, I think, as they possibly can.
Yeah.
Do I think there's like blood bag transfers going on and open EPO use? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I really like to believe that right now, only because we live in the era of social media where in the 80s and 90s, you could hide this stuff so easy. Could you imagine? You guys remember what Postal was doing where they were like, yeah, we just put the syringes in a Coke can.
We
and
tricked
then throw it
them.
in the trash.
We tricked them with a Coke can.
Yeah.
Like,
Could you,
that might not work.
Do you know
anymore.
how easily these days? I mean, there's like somebody with a camera they could like see in the corner shadow of it, or they'd be scouring the dumpsters there. I mean, like, there's no way you can get away with that.
There's way too many people. This is the biggest stage in sports, and everybody's walking around with a camera and access to social media everywhere.
I mean, literally, Tyler Hamilton walked out of the Postal like RV with a can full of used needles.
Yeah.
That does not happen nowadays. Yeah. There's no way on God's
Some news
greener.
reporter was like, there's a needle hanging out of your arm.
Yeah, exactly.
No, there's not.
No, there's not.
That's...
I will sue you until you die if you say anything. You'd be like, okay, you're good.
All right, we're good.
B vitamins. All right.
B vitamins. Those are my B vitamins.
I inject my D3 directly into me.
All right, so does everything change tomorrow? Tomorrow's
everything
stage,
that we said, everything that we said is just wrong.
It's just wrong.
I'm gonna be very boring and say Pogača will. I'm not gonna say he's going to win the stage. He will win of the GC contenders.
He's in yellow now.
Yes, he will win because I think just like I'm gonna have to remember whatever year it was. He made some big moves going into that second week of the tour to really cement himself. I think he's going to do the same approach right now. He's taking time where he can. And if he senses any weakness in Ineos or Jumbo Visma, it's over. This guy's a boa constrictor.
I think the GCs are eyeing this stage.
Yeah.
Because I think, I've heard him talk about it in interviews. They're definitely eyeing this stage. That being said, we haven't seen a breakaway win yet. And I think that could easily happen tomorrow as well.
That's why I'm saying, like, of the GC, I think Pogača will win.
Absolutely. But they could also let a breakaway go.
How awesome would that be if
like
Magnus Cort somehow has legs tomorrow and like gets in a breakaway and wins? Sure. I would love to see that guy win.
Won the first 11 King of the Mountain points.
Yeah, which I don't think it ever happened.
No, that's a record.
Yeah,
that's a record for sure.
Amazing.
Super cool.
Let's go Magnus Cort. And then somehow Powell gets away with him. They're just like, oh, we'll let him go. And then Magnus just pulls him the whole way. We're like, America.
How about some hot takes? It doesn't have to be just for tomorrow, but just in general, a hot take, and we'll circle back and we'll see if you're right on this.
My hot take is Roglic will be a semi-protected rider tomorrow, but he will lose the Tour tomorrow. For him. Tomorrow. He will be protected like Vingegaard. Vingegaard will outperform him significantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. I don't have a hot take.
No hot takes? Lance, you got a hot take?
Hot take, Roglic drops out.
Roglic
drops
out. Whatever Evan says.
Completely wrong. Roglic goes on a breakaway.
No, Roglic looked good. I was actually surprised to see
a
him
hot
after
take,
the
Matt, would
thing.
be Roglic wins of the GC, guys.
That would
because
be a hot
I just
take.
said it, so it's probably going to be right if you say it. So.
Do they let him go at this point? I mean, how far back is he?
He lost 2 minutes, so he's 2.5 minutes
he's
behind.
He's still on this stage. They're not going to let any GC guys go.
No.
Like
even at 2 minutes
stage.
back.
Yeah, they won't.
Do you think it makes sense for them to go attack or to keep Pogača there?
They should send Roglic. They should.
I mean,
if I was Jumbo, I'd be like, let's see if they let's see if
put him in the
Pogača
breakaway.
wants to. Yeah, let's see if Pogača wants to.
They won't let him.
Go
They
get
won't
him.
let him go.
My hot take is I don't think Pogača is going to be in yellow tomorrow.
Oh, that's a very hot take.
Wow.
I think
Ineos and Paul
you think
Hine
they give
have
it
been-
up?
I think Ineos has got something up their sleeve for tomorrow.
Okay.
And they've got too many
So
weapons
somebody-
in the top 10. And
somebody
I think
on
that they're
Ineos
going to
will be in
tenderize him. And I think that he's not going to pop, but I don't think he's going to be able to respond for like the
That would
7th
be-
or 8th time.
That would be huge.
Because you know
they've
that
got
Jumbo
4
Visma is going to be
hammers.
going for it as well. You know that there's a few other teams that want to get some stuff going on there. There might be just enough of a group to break away. I don't think we're going to see that gentleman's agreement between the different teams.
No.
But I do honestly think that it's close enough to where somebody could get up the road. I do think that it's going to come from Ineos, and I think that somebody's going to take the yellow away from.
Another
I think a breakaway
guy.
could potentially win tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to
guy
affect the yellow jersey.
to try and get in a breakaway would be Nairo Quintana right now.
Not going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Nairo is up there.
He's doing well.
He's doing very well.
What the heck, man?
Quietly
I
done
saw him on the. I
super
saw him and I was
well.
like, wait a minute.
Hot turd right there. That's not a hot
Nairo
take.
Quintana has been sneakily, even on the cobble stage, he was great. He was in
Nairo
the
for
the
yellow.
next-
Yes.
Oh, he's going to crash his bike into a tree.
Nairo,
climbing uphill, throw rocks at people because somebody
and
put
then
him
Nairo is so nice and gives it to Nielsen Paulus in a magical moment.
Froome wins it all.
In an alliance between Colombia and America.
Yeah.
Pogacar loses 12 minutes.
Yeah, where is Nairo on the overall? Is he not in the top 10?
I think he lost a lot of time in the TT.
Yeah,
he's fifth overall.
Is he fifth overall?
That's what it
Did
says
I miss his name over there?
Gosh, that's so awesome.
No, hold on a second.
This
can't be right.
That was the stage. Maybe
never mind.
Was
This
he
is
fifth on the
stage
stage?
6. Yeah, I need the overall.
Yeah.
He's 11th. He is 11th.
I mean, come on, that's not bad.
Also, another name
rankings,
nobody
we're
is talking about actually right now is so I know he's a minute and 12 back, but Enrique Mas is still a really good bike rider. Like, wait till we get to the high mountains. Names like Quintana, Enrique Mas. I do think Fogelsson will be there.
Yeah.
There are some names down this list that are close and still within.
Well, tomorrow could be one of those
striking
days.
distance.
Tomorrow could be a good day.
Yep. Oh yeah, because if you're if you're Roglic and you're 2 minutes down, but you make that last move, you move right back in the top 10. You know, I mean, you're right back in there if somebody gets dropped out.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be watching Pogacar for tomorrow, and he's going to sit and do nothing until the end and hope that it gets hard. And that's how Breakaway wins.
It ends with a Cat 1 climb.
And it's gravel up top.
I'm
excited about that. Yeah, I've seen this stage before, right? I mean, it's really pretty up there. It's going to be cool. There'll be some sort of
I can't wait for the
flats
social media banter between like graveliers or whatever they call themselves and like road riders. Whereas whoever wins this stage is going to be like, could he win Gravel Worlds now?
Isn't this the stage where they had the uphill time trial that Pogacar won on a couple years ago and took the tour? They took the tour
What's
away
the name
from
of the climb?
I can't pronounce
Is it La Planche?
Yeah, La Planche de Bellefile.
Was La Planche the
Nailed
climb
it.
that Egon broke away on? Do you guys remember Egon? Egon had his like nuclear attack on a gravel
remember.
ending climb. That might have been La Planche.
I think I heard them mention something though, that this is the climb that Pogacar
already
beat
won on.
Roglic on in the TT to take yellow to go
when
into.
Roglic had his helmet pushed back and he looked disheveled and he lost like 2 minutes on that one.
The most
time trial.
tragic time trial you've ever seen.
Speaking of that, are you
Everyone
going to
sees
get yourself a
somebody
new
suffer.
specialized time trial helmet now based on these?
God.
You see
need
these
that.
new helmets?
There are certain things I won't do, and that does not fall into them. So yes, I will be getting that.
Yes.
No,
We're all in on this.
Some of the memes on those are pretty funny.
if somebody
so.
told me like, "Hey man, if you wear a bowling ball on your head that's pink, it's faster," I'd be like, "Sure, that's
do it.
I don't
Whatever it
care.
takes.
I'm not
Whatever it
trying
takes to be
win
faster.
like I'm a triathlete. I already get massively made fun of for everything. I'm not trying to look
I'll
good.
put away my pointy helmet and switch it for the bowling ball.
But
They're
what I
both
am do
ugly.
on a slight arrow note, I will not be wearing a visor actually during the time trial.
Why?
So I have a bike fitting coming up actually with Josh Sutton, but as I've looked into a little bit more aero data, head position is very important to be able to tuck and get behind your hands and as close to your hands as you can. The visor does not allow me to get very close to my hands.
Oh.
So actually, I even talked with Kieran Crosley about this, who does not wear a visor either, because of the position we can get our head into without the visor there.
Interesting.
I think the numbers I've seen on that particular helmet, the visor is faster.
Yeah, but it's dependent on position, is what I was seeing.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
were
I'm sure.
testing a specialized helmet when they went no visor, but it was
This is the
pretty
Giro.
fast without the visor.
Yeah.
It just depended on where your hands were and what position you were able to get your neck into. So as long as my head is behind my hands, I can tuck my head
You usually
down
go
more.
no sunglasses too, don't you?
No. Yeah, I never wear sunglasses.
Weren't they wearing some sort of a head cover too, like a snoot, or is that what they're
Yeah.
calling it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I heard they're talking about making that illegal. That weird thing.
Yeah, it was to like smooth out the face as much as possible.
Yeah, crazy things we'll do.
Here's
for
the thing in a
aerodynamics.
triathlon though is you got to think there's also the comfort does come into it and
Yeah.
more in a triathlon because I'm not just racing for 15K. This is like
Mm-hmm.
you're out there for 56 miles and I got to run after. So there's some positions
Yeah. Oh,
and tech that just is not going to work.
Sometimes
in
the visor
triathlon.
fogs up and you're just playing
Yeah.
with that for like hours.
And
you're
then
like,
you
this
just
is
lost your
ton of-
arrow
this
position
just
there.
Wasted
So
a whole
yeah,
bunch of time.
exactly. So I really like racing without a visor because I feel like
agree.
I can get more aggressive. So that was a lot of the data. I know when Ben Canoe put out his video, it's not about how aggressive you can get. It's what's the most aggressive position you can hold. Because it all comes down to
comfortably.
how long you can actually hold up. Every time you move out of that position, you lose.
Yep.
You lose time. So yeah,
Very true.
Jake, you are correct.
That's been
That is the time trial
Ooh.
climb
Good job,
from,
Jake.
from 2 years ago.
Gotcha.
does
So that's-
everybody remember the stage with Egon I'm talking about though? He like blew up
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
gravel one. I thought that was La Planche, but yeah, I'm wrong.
This was the stage in 2012 where Chris Froome
Yeah.
put his dominance.
Yep.
So that was 10 years ago.
Yep. I remember
been watching-
Nibali won on this
Okay,
stage
so
2 years later.
hot take. Froome wins this next week.
Froome
God,
wins
no, Froome is
tomorrow.
Froome got dropped.
You heard it
today,
from
didn't
Lance.
he?
You heard it from Lance.
Did he get dropped today?
I think
Was
he
he-
did.
was he close
I
enough
heard
to
it
get
like
dropped?
randomly. I think they announced it. They're not even making that big of a deal of it anymore. They're like, oh, by the way, Froome's gone. I don't know.
What mile was that? 5, 6?
Probably like as soon as Wout attacked.
I picked
they
him up on
almost-
our fantasy team because he was cheap, and
I
it would
saw
be fun
that.
to see
I
if
saw
he would
I
actually.
was looking at people's people. I was like, oh, Jake did really well. Oh, he's got Froome on his team.
Yeah.
It's an interesting choice.
You never know. I mean,
Well,
he's got
I
something
love-
to prove, and he
I
was
love-
cheap,
If
so
he could,
why not?
If he could win a stage, that'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
I love the hot take before the tour where he was saying, they're like, what kind of fitness are you? He's like, I'm really close to when I won the tour. I'm 5 to 10 watts off of that. And I mean, dude, don't say that. Like you just set
People
yourself up for everybody to make fun of you even more.
There's a weird strategy to those pre-tour interviews, and it's like
Yeah.
you always say the same thing. You're like, I'm in the best fitness of my life.
Yep.
Can't wait to represent the sponsors.
Yep.
Blah blah blah. And you're like,
Do you have
this is all
GC
just a
hopes?
fuck-
Not really.
It's all like super weird.
Froome is 11 minutes down.
Oh,
He's
my
in
Lord.
71st place.
Right
Not
where,
bad.
right where he wants him.
Ready to-
right where he
ready
wants
to
him.
pounce.
There you
Ready
go.
to
That's actually maybe that was a strategy. Is he's like,
Super
I'm gonna
breakaway
drop
tomorrow.
down
Yeah.
for He lost 8 minutes in the time
Dude,
trial.
you guys are all wrong. He's laughing to the bank right now with Team
Yes, he
Israel
is.
or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still one of the
All the
highest
way to the
paid
bank.
players in the world. Like,
Do you think he should retire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
No,
be
I
done.
mean, if
Call
you
it. I
let
mean,
me-
you run out
seriously.
your contract,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and
He
then
could
you
do-
go live in
Yeah.
Monaco for the rest of your
Froome is
life.
Froome is
My favorite quad lock product that I use.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Right, like he's using that.
Froome can do.
Yeah. I
People
think he
should
was using
remember
it.
once his career's done. Froome was one of the best GC riders
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
ever. Like I
Absolutely.
mean, should go down top 10 ever.
Very much a robot, but yes.
But absolutely, he should be done right now.
I don't know. That I'm gonna
Grab
call you out on that.
paychecks. If he can
he's
grab
won
paychecks, go
on
for it.
descents before, like crested mountains, and then
Also-
been like, oh, no one's looking. I'm gonna descend hard and win
Yeah.
this stage and
What-
take yellow.
Crushed his TT
He
deck.
super tucked and pedaled while he was super tucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he won.
He
I mean,
literally
that's
had
not,
a
that's not
rule.
robot, right?
He made
I mean,
a
that's
he
not
made a
robot.
rule get created against him. That's how fast he was going down that descent. They're like, we got to make a rule against this.
Crashed his bike that pretty much ended his career, picking his
Yep.
nose on his bike too. But
Exactly.
anyway, that's
Exactly.
I digress.
But still, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that everyone would always call Froome a row because he looks down, but I just think that's his riding style.
He was
Elbows
just not
out,
a pretty rider.
elbows
Staring
out,
at the stem,
looking,
yep.
staring at the stem.
It's just like
Just how he does
you watch
things.
Pogacar ride and it's so smooth and
is.
powerful, and then you watch Froome ride and it just doesn't look
not
as
as
smooth and
beautiful.
powerful. But
It's not
it
as
was
beautiful.
effective.
It
It was
worked.
very effective.
Running up the side of the
Oh, that was awesome.
Ventu, was it?
Mount
Good
Ventoux,
runner.
yeah.
He like, I don't have a bike. I'm
I'm
gonna
just gonna
run.
run.
Think
He's
he can
like
swim,
running
Evan?
through the
Can he
crowd.
come swim with
win.
you?
Will to win. Does everybody remember also the most unlucky man in the history of the Tour de France? Richie Porte was the one to
Richie Porte.
first crash into
He's
the
like,
bike.
oh, there's a bike here. Bike's stopping in front of you.
That was the part that tour nobody's ever going to remember, is that Richie Porte was in great fitness and he was
was.
there. He was in that. He was there. He
Guess
was
who's
gonna
not
win.
on the tour team this year?
Richie.
For any Richie Porte is not on the tour team.
know.
Retired.
Would have been my pick. But
He's still riding.
I mean, he'll
Yeah.
probably race
be
the.
done.
Yeah, he'll probably race the
Vuelta.
Giro or the Vuelta.
him and
whatever
him
next.
and Valverde, I think, are both done after the Vuelta. I think. Yeah.
That I could see that.
Oh my God! What if they're both on the podium? That'd be the greatest Grand Tour ever. If those guys both are.
Was it Valverde who just got hit by the car?
Yeah, Valverde got hit by a
Oh,
car.
did he?
and
Yeah.
doing a training ride.
No.
It was like a hit and run. He's in
Yeah,
the
hit and
hospital,
run.
and yeah, they caught the person later. But yeah, I
Thank
don't.
God they caught the guy.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, he's gonna live and all this. I didn't get a rundown of his
Actually,
injuries. When
he like went to the hospital but walked out of the hospital.
Oh, he
Like,
did?
He's fine. But
he's also tough as nails. But that's
Yeah,
I
that's-
mean, he's.
he's
seen
super
something
clean,
like that
super
happen
clean.
though.
You know what the hit and drive guy's punishment should be? Is Valverde gets a month to recover and then they get to box. Because Valverde, even though he's a skinny small guy, I would never. That guy is a vicious human
Worse.
being.
How about worse than that? That guy has to like bike with Valverde every day.
Actually, that'd be worse than getting boxing. You're like, no. You don't have to go to jail, but you have to do his training every single day for a month.
You're going to die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a death sentence. Yeah.
This is much worse than waterboarding, I promise you.
Matt had a hot take earlier. I think that we should go around the table and say if this is going to happen or not. MVP drops out of the tour. We'll say by Sunday. Today is Thursday as we record this,
Sunday.
and he will be gone by Sunday. Will that happen? Yes or no?
Yes, absolutely. He might not start tomorrow.
Interesting.
Yes.
You think
gonna-
he drops
he's
out
gone.
before
He's done.
Sunday?
before Sunday.
Lance?
I was going to say yes, but Evan said no. Or Evan said yes. So I'm saying no. He finishes the tour and he wins the stage.
Wins tomorrow.
I think he could hold out and try to win one stage. He might like just look around and be like, which one looks possible?
Can I
There's
go?
something. There's got to be something in there that he would be.
He had the yellow jersey last year for a couple days.
About this time, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it was the
after the first 3 days.
fifth or sixth.
That's why I picked him for the cobble stages. I was like, I think that this guy's going to remind us how good he is. I don't think this is the year for him. He's still a great bicycle rider, just this is not the year for him.
Do you think the tour thus far has been more difficult than your typical tour year? I mean, I don't know if we've had as many crashes per se as some of the worst ones in the past, but in terms of like just
I would say
like
that,
how
but it seems
hard
like
they're going.
Every couple years, though, you always hear stories of like some insanely hard first weeks of the tour.
Yeah.
The one I specifically remember is when Fabian Cancellara was in yellow. They talked about the speed of the peloton at that time.
Well, today
because just the way he rode the race. I mean, that guy was like making attacks in yellow, just like Wout is, which makes it an insanely harder tour.
For a good chunk of the race today, it was on pace to be the fastest stage ever, and they ended up slowing up just a tiny bit, and I think they finished at like 49 point something kilometers per hour.
It's basically any
So it was
tour.
almost 30 miles an hour for 132 miles today.
Yeah.
Almost 30 miles an hour.
You got to think that's going to put a dent in some people's legs.
Yeah.
Like they've got to be feeling that. Are they on all kinds of drugs that just make it not a point? Like just, I don't know how they can do this. Like what is going on
Did
here?
you hear what Pidcock said?
What?
He said, when he's talking about Wout and how fast it was today, he said,
"Oh, I saw this.
I don't know what to say. He's taking the piss, isn't he?" He said, Wout Van Aert is playing with our balls.
I love Pidcock.
He's just like the best British person ever. Do you want me to say a quote that will make me look horrible?
I'll
do
it. He probably said that to BBC and they didn't bat an eye. They're like, yes, okay, he is fondling your balls.
Quite literal.
Okay, good.
They send that like audio over to NBC. Like, we can't post. Like, why? Like, I don't see it.
BBC.
Was it the tone? Did he say it too aggressive?
Is it the tone?
To answer that question, I didn't get to go on the record. I think that he's going to hang out. I think he's going to be around for a while, and I think he's going to wake up one morning and feel better. Yeah. I don't think that he's sick. I think he might be a touch off just to start, and we all have those weeks.
Hey, he was in the top 10 after the first stage after the
he's still
so we've got
time trial.
Drop,
he has legs.
Drop, no drop,
and
no
win.
drop,
and
win. Yeah,
and win a stage.
The whole tour.
I think that he still has it in him to win a stage, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Hot takes.
Would that be the greatest comeback in the tour if he wins the green jersey?
No, because it's expected.
No, if he wins the green jersey. If he wins the green jersey, yeah.
If he wins the green jersey, yeah, but that's amazing. That'd be crazy.
No, I don't. I still
that was
don't
his
think
goal
you can.
Coming in, wasn't it? Well, that
Pogacar 2 years ago, I think is still probably one of the greatest comebacks ever. Just to win it in that fashion in that time. I mean,
second to last stage up this climb,
and that's dominant of his fashion.
Yeah.
But in terms of the green jersey, absolutely. But
he does clearly like this climb. He's pretty good up it.
He's pretty good. He's a good call for the.
He did 7 watts per kilo up it in the middle of a time trial.
You can just leave him as your stage pick winner and all. You'll be fine. Just put him there. Yeah. Leave him. He's fine.
Anything else on the tour, you guys? Before we do the one last thing, speak now or forever.
Champ out.
Champ Bailey out.
Done. Yep.
Champ Bailey takeover here. Cool. All right, let's do one last thing real quick. People got things to do.
I'm going first.
Stuff going on. Go.
All right. I'm racing this Sunday. That's basically it. That's all. That's all I got.
I'm excited about your race. I'm very excited to see how you do.
It's going to be fun.
You're going to have a great swim.
I think the only thing that's for sure is I'm going to PR my swim. That's basically the only thing that's going to happen.
Put that up on your wall of fame. Like, you don't have to say where it was or when it was, but this is your swim time.
I swam 50-second hundreds for a 2K once in my life. Mm-hmm. Yep. I have nothing about the water.
Big PR.
There you go. All right, folks. See ya.
All right, Evan. Thank you for your time, brother. Lance Hepler, you want to go?
I just want to apologize to everybody that is joining our fantasy tour things. There ended up being 3 different leagues.
Oh.
There is a team dialed cycling league, which only has a few people in it. There is a dialed podcast league, which has like 8 people in it. And then there is the podcast league. So there were 3 different leagues. That's why you're winning, Matt, because you're in one of the
Backstory. I am not the owner of those first 2 that you talked about. Or no, the middle one I started.
You started Dialed Podcast.
The Dialed Podcast. And I did that because I didn't have management access to the other two, and Evan wasn't able to get in there and take care of it. And I think he owns one. I'm still not sure who owns the third one.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Question mark?
So are you in 3?
I put a team in all 3.
Like you do.
Can you just use your same teams?
I wish you could just
no, because
hop on over.
Because Team Dialed Cycling had like a 200. It had a higher point thing. You could get more
budget. Your higher budget.
Higher budget.
You could spend more on your people, so it doesn't
The
translate.
only reason I'm winning is because I'm in some sort of like wrong group.
That's correct.
Something like that.
I'm just gonna let's just pretend that I'm in the only group.
Gary Cornelius is winning the Dialed podcast one.
But here's the thing. I sent out the link to the one that we were talking about. I put that on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I sent it out to you guys and all. I texted it out to you guys
the one
all.
that I'm a part of, I think.
So what happened?
What's your name in there?
I don't know, Matt LeGrand.
Okay, you're not in that league.
What happened is...
Use the link that you sent.
Oh, really?
I know.
Maybe it just piped you into the...
No, shouldn't be.
When you hit the link, it took you to the team that you last were a part of. So it didn't take you to the Dialed podcast. Anyway.
So what I didn't know is...
in this one that he's...
But that was from last year. If you look, I probably don't have any picks, right?
No, you have all your picks.
It gave us the same team. The one that Matt is in has our same team from Dialed Podcast, which is odd. But Matt isn't in the other one.
So I'd make one pick in one league, and it basically transcends all of the different leagues?
Yeah. You're in.
Interesting. Okay, well, I thought that's
But
still,
it's only
you can still
two-
kind of make that work.
And I'm dominating, guys.
Are you really?
And Matt is
dominating.
winning. Yeah,
Sweet.
he is.
Atta kid.
How many points do you guys have in the other leagues?
I don't know. Not very many. I think I'm like third to last or something like that. It's because I got Chris Froome on my team.
I have the same amount of points. I have 3,803.
So I'm dominating.
So you're dominating. And the guy who's winning our league is Gary Cornelius, and he only has 4,000 points.
So I'm still dominating.
You're still dominating.
Atta kid.
So let's just establish the fact
That Matt is winning all leagues.
and
After
even
6
overall,
stages,
even overall.
Matt's going to take that and...
The other league doesn't count because it has a higher budget, so you can have more
transfers.
Well, not more transfers. You can have higher rated people, higher rated riders.
Your people cost more. I guess it's all relative, though. If you had more spots, more people that you could put into winning, and you're spending a bigger budget, then that's going to screw things up. If it was just a higher dollar amount that you're spending, but you had the same number of spots, you can still kind of take a percentage and kind of figure it out.
But instead of having 2 or 3 riders with only 5 or 7 points, you can have all your riders have over like 12 or something.
Yeah, but if you've got the same number of riders, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
if I think in our league we've got 6 riders, and like if you had a higher budget and you had like 8 riders or 9 riders, then you can't really make that comparison. But if it's anyway,
it's not the
people
same.
are listening to this going, dude, shut the
whatever. Matt's winning. All you need to know is Matt is winning.
That's the most important part. Even if I lose, I'm just all you need to know is that I've won.
Chicken dinner, baby. Matt LeGrand, you got one last thing for us?
I always have some videos to talk about. I posted Tour de France talk on one of the videos, just kind of giving my prediction tour. If people put their prediction tours in there, they can win some stickers like usual. I do that every year. And then today I posted a video comparing 2 watches, the 955 and the 255. Both good watches. Both have triathlon options. And one's significantly cheaper than the other. So,
which one are you wearing right now, man?
This is the 955,
Yeah.
the new 955. But I mean, I would wear the 255. It's like $200 cheaper and still fantastic, really good. I have no problems with the 255.
Sweet.
So,
cool.
Good options.
Let's go check that out. My one last thing is my training is coming around, and I'm happy about that.
That's exciting.
I am going to put it on the record that if they're going to have... if it actually ends up happening, the state championship road race here in the Obra land, the Kings Valley road race, I will be out there racing that. So
excellent.
Did some training rides and been kind of taking a look at numbers, and I'm kind of liking the things the way that they're looking. I think I'm recovered from being sick all of April, and going to go out and flog tonight again, and just another training night, and yeah, I think it's going to work out well. So
cool.
That's it.
You flogging tonight?
Yeah, I think I'll go.
Good.
What group are you going to flog in?
I'll probably go with
the A group. Okay, sounds good.
The B group.
Oh, A group.
I'll get dropped in like the first 2 miles if I go with the A group.
All right, we're going to call this a wrap because I got to get this thing put out so that people can listen to us mumble on about nothing. So we do appreciate everybody listening. We will be back next week or soon or
Something
at some
like
point in time with another podcast talking about
tour
tour stuff, and we'll go from there. So until then, bye for now.